Yo, talking about the WonderFools, very wonderful TV show. I watched it in one sitting, actually. 8 episodes. Pretty short, but I kind of adore the WonderFools. It is actually a very good TV show. I've seen a few K dramas, and I've dropped most of them, mainly because the main character, most of the time in K dramas, are not really that interesting. Also, the premise of a lot of K dramas are pretty much the same. Most of them I've seen are just, bad kids in school and then trying to fix the school, or main characters just trying to survive. But with the Wonderfuls, it really grabbed my attention because it was very much out there. It wasn't tied down to reality. It was cool. And I gotta say, with this TV show, it was pretty good. It was on my radar for the longest. I didn't even realize it came out. I just saw it TikTok, Instagram. I was like, oh shit, I remember this. I gotta watch this. And I finished it in one sitting. I want to talk about the flaws of the TV show because there is a lot of stuff in the TV show I have issues with. It doesn't necessarily make it a bad show, but it does hold it back a lot. For instance, the biggest problem with The Wonderfuls, in my opinion, is it repeats a lot of the talking points. It has. A lot of the plot points in the TV show it repeats a lot of them, and it pads the runtime a lot. Like, for instance, forgot, I don't know his name, but I don't know a lot of these names. It's hard for me to remember names of K-dramas because they're in subtitles. But the main husband, the husband with the kid and the wife that doesn't like him, it's repeated so many times in this show that he's like a loser husband who's trying to do the right thing. And it doesn't stop until the last episode with like 10 minutes left. Does he finally get his redemption? And the whole time, I'm like, okay, finally, he got powers. Maybe now he can do something cool. I don't know. I think it would have been better for him to give his daughter the headphones, like in episode 4 or episode 5, to show that he's actually growing. But basically, he just stays a loser dad. And the TV show just repeats that over and over and over. Like his wife, even when he's like in a big battle, she even takes time to say, "You walk out that door, I divorce you." It was like, dang, okay, we get it. His life sucks. And that was just annoying. The part was them having powers. I will say the show had a very, very S tier reaction, in my opinion, of having powers. I think if people found out they had powers, they would react just like they did in the TV show. A lot of them were scared, but the main girl, rightfully so, was happy because she could live now. She could live to see the end of her life. But the other two guys, they didn't have a heart condition. They were just scared of being killed or experimented on. They didn't want their lives ruined, which I think is a very, very response. Not everybody's going to be like, oh, I got superpowers, time to just save the world or end the world. A lot of people would just probably hide in silence. I think that was a very good reaction they had to powers. But the TV show, or not TV show, but the show in general, it doesn't let the characters grow out of that. I don't know what realistically the time place of the show takes. I think the show takes place over a month, maybe, of the whole TV show. It probably could be a month, but then again, it's not really like specified. It could also be like 2 weeks. They don't really like time lapse, or you don't really get a good sense of how time is moving. But there is a lot of montages. There's a lot of waking up and going to sleep. So it could be a month just to be safe. I don't think it's longer than that. But the TV show really was like, okay, you did a good job of reactional powers. and now it got like kind of annoying. Like, how many times are you going to be surprised that your hand got stuck on something? It happened every single time. You would think by like the 10th time your hand got stuck on something, you'd be like, okay, my hand got stuck on something. Or, you're super strong. By the 10th time you did something that's super strength, you would just be normal to it. That's just how, even if it's superpowers, you would still be normal to it. Uh, Another thing the WonderFools did really weird, and I guess this is because it's one season, and they probably don't have to answer it, which is fine. It's not really like something they have to answer, but if they do a season 2, they will have to answer it. In the show, it's stated that if you use your powers, what's it called? You disintegrate your body over time by using your powers. In the TV show, all the main characters don't disintegrate. It's never brought up that they're perfect, except for the main character. She has the ability to regenerate. That's why she's called, I think it was called the Golden Child, she's like the chosen one. She doesn't die because her heart regenerates her body. But the other characters, even the main character, they don't show signs of like disintegrating, throwing up blood, uh, coughing. I think the show just ignores it, or maybe they never specify how long it takes for that to start kicking in. But it is what it is. But that's pretty much all. The WonderFools is not really a bad show at all. Uh, that's it didn't have that many flaws, but I will say the good. Let's get into the good of the WonderFools. Uh, the main character, the main girl character. Oh, I love her. I love her. She she kind of hard carried this show. Weirdly enough, I like the main girl character. I don't know her name. I have a hard time with names when they're foreign, unless they repeat it 100 times. The main girl character I really like, and the guy who the her love interest, he's pretty badass. The other two guys, every time I was getting to like them, the show reverted back to their traits. They were like traits. The loser husband was always his trait, and then the guy who likes to be, he doesn't like to be, but the guy who is always talked down on. They never grow out of these traits, but where the main character, she really shines. One of my favorite things in The WonderFuls is when the show starts out, and you're like, she's going to die because she says she could die at any moment because she's sick. But then she finds out. Obviously, we know what happens. She does the whole fake the test thing. Try to get ransom money. But then she dies and comes back to life. Um, and after she figures out she is going to live longer than expected, I love her reaction of how happy she is. I think they did a very good job of doing that. And it's also in character for her to be as happy and energetic as she is, because even when she thought she was going to die any moment, she was still super energetic. I loved how the TV show changed her look from like dark and gloomy to like very bright, but they didn't, I don't know how to explain it, but they didn't really change her look. It was more just her attitude. Cause I thought she was annoying when I watched the first episode. I'm like, man, another bland MC who's too cool, who's too good to be cool, who's too cool for school, just like every other MC. And then she figures out she's going to live, and she's just like, oh shit, she's actually a very interesting character. She's smart. She cares for her friends. That's another thing I liked about the WonderFuls is the friendship of the group. I actually like this trio. I thought they were legit cool friends. You don't really see that in other K dramas. It feels like super forced. Like we just have to get these characters with different traits together. But no, like when they're just sitting down in a circle talking about being poor, that's just like real shit. That's just real stuff that friends do. They talk about being poor and one day hopefully they're rich. And that was just it was moments like that where it's like, damn, this it's really character growing. Uh, but yeah, she's the best character. Her power is super cool. She's also very smart with her power. I also like how the TV show changed her power to she can't teleport to a certain place and then teleport to another place. She can only teleport to a place and teleport back and then teleport again. It gives a very good place on her powers that forces her to think what's the TV show thought of, and it also forces and it also nerfs because it would be insanely tough. Because I was thinking when she got captured, I'm like, she's probably just going to teleport away, right? Yeah, she did. And then but it's like, oh shit, she has to teleport back if she wants to teleport somewhere else. I thought that was very cool. Uh, what else? I think her relationship with her grandma is very good. I love the grandma and her character. Uh, S tier plot twist when you find out how she survived her heart condition. Oh, it was such a good plot twist. Um, and you actually feel it actually is very good because it's like the grandma is very evil, right? Or she's not evil, but the grandma did a very evil thing. But at the same time, the TV you feel for the grandma and you like. I'm glad she did that because you come to like the main character so much, and it really built that up. Because if they didn't build up the main character, basically thinking she's going to die at any moment, it wouldn't have felt relieving when you find out that she has a heart transplant that keeps her alive. I think it was a very good twist. Also, when they're under the northern lights, she starts to regenerate. Like even when the show's like the main not the main protagonist, but the cool guy. He's like um, the golden boy. He was a boy. He wasn't a girl. So how could it be her? And in my brain, I'm like, whoa, is this a boy? I'm like, there's no way this is a boy. I was mad confused. I'm like, how is she regenerating? How is she alive? And then the TV show tells you that she killed herself. Or not killed herself. The boy died in an accident. The grandma took the boy, who was going to survive, because he can regenerate from anything. He was going to survive, took his heart, and gave it to her daughter because she was sick. I think it was a very good plot twist. uh, but the main cool guy, I like his character. I like that he's just basically aura farming the whole show, and it kind of pays off. Usually, I wouldn't like his character because of a lot of K dramas just think aura farming is good with no character development, but it's a good balance because you got him bouncing off of her, and it's a nice balance of calm energy versus very hyper hyper energetic energy. And then he's in the group, and he's like he gets kidnapped into the car by the group of friends, and then they like rescue the policeman. It was a very very good moment because like it's bringing out his character, and you really just don't see that in K dramas. It's so weird. This K drama doesn't feel like it was made by normal. It really feels like a live action anime, like a Jitama. In the anime Jitama, it feels like a live action Jitama. Uh, the WonderFools. I'm trying to think. There is underused characters. The characters of the father and the daughters, I thought they were pretty underused, or kind of used too much. And what I mean by that is either don't put them in the show as much as you did because then the audience expects more, or give us more of them because you don't give too much. It's like putting a rib in somebody or a burger in somebody's face and saying, here, this is yours, and then as they reach for it, you cut it in half and say you can only have half. And then they say, well, I don't really want half. And then they say, okay, here go full. And then every time you reach for it, rinse and repeat. That's how I felt about the father and the children. It's like, okay, they're on screen. I'm intrigued. Let's see what they're talking about. And then immediately it's like, oh, they're gone again. And then they just die. It was so weird. Like, kind of no redemption arc. I kind of wish the siblings, at least one of them, survived and became good. But then again, one of them did become good. It was a plot twist. The sister killed her own sister, which I kind of wish would have just sent her to be more good, but it sent her to be more crazy. What else would I say? The ending where she's supposed to suicide, or not suicide, but they think she died. I didn't. I wasn't. I didn't. I knew she didn't die. I wasn't convinced at all, because that would have been a fucking terrible fucking ending. But consider that I've seen a debate going around if the WonderFools should have a season two. I 100% think it should. I think the cast. I think a season, multiple seasons of just this group of friends going around trying to do the right thing would just work in itself. I think the charisma of the main characters can carry a show. I think if you just introduce some big bad guy who wants to destroy the world because he's evil, and then you just have the main characters who just try to do the right thing, and funny things happen along the way, and you build character. Like when they're rescuing the cop, you could just do that for episodes. You could just have like a sea monster. They never explain the sea monsters though in the show. That's another thing. That's another plot hole. I forgot all about the sea monsters. But like you could just have a whole season centered around some big monster in a forest who kills people, and or people are disappearing or something. And maybe they're just like an organization who just, hey, we can help with your problems, but you have to pay us. And it's a good way of getting rich and doing the right thing at the same time. I think that would be a pretty cool thing. Um, but I mean, I'm all over the place, just like the show. The humor, the humor was all right. It didn't land for me all the time. I think the humor in the show is good, but it lasted way too long. For instance, like when the guy is like trying to clap the dude, or not clap, pause. When the dude is trying to flatten the dude with his hands, it was enjoyable. Like, oh shit, he can't do it. And then it was pretty funny because he kept on trying. And then he flattens the car, and then he goes back to him. And then the guy starts clapping his hands. I think that scene went on way too long. Way too long. Like at one point it was like, all right, you can't do it. And then it's like, all right, we get it. And he tried like 50 times. It's like, bro, you cannot do it. I forgot what happened after that. It's been a while. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but I forgot what happened after he couldn't lift. After he couldn't flatten him. Did he just leave? But I absolutely loved the telekinesis guy becoming friends. Him opening up and teaching them how to control their powers was pretty cool. But after that, uh, him giving away the girl, I didn't like it. I thought it was bad writing because, I mean, this might be a hot take, but I thought it was bad writing for him to give up the girl because I wasn't convinced for a second that he was not going to help. It was pretty obvious. They were doing the whole like, I did a wrong thing. I have to go save her, and that's what they did. But I will say, WonderFools is a. If I had to rate it, I've been thinking about this for a while. I will give WonderFools. I give it an 8.8. I will. I give WonderFools an 8.8. I think there is a lot of plot holes and a lot of humor that lasts a little bit too long, a lot of repetitive points they come out with the show. I give WonderFools an 8.8. But there is way more good than there is bad. And I think anybody would enjoy WonderFools. It's a very good show to binge watch. Every episode moves the plot forward. That's really pretty much it. I really hope this show does get a season 2. The scenery also is very beautiful. The show looks very good. Like, they put like budget into this show. There's moments in this show where I'm like, whoa, this is that Netflix money. But yeah, they put money into this show. Even when the girl's teleporting, nothing is really lazy when it comes to the CGI and the scenery. The fight scenes are very cool. They have very much anime fight scenes that are done very well. Actually, might I say it, like, very well. It does not look cringy. But I will say, very good show. If you haven't seen The WonderFools, you should probably watch it. Hopefully it does get a season 2. I understand people saying it doesn't need one, but I think it'd be pretty cool just to see a gang of WonderFools going around protecting people. But that's it. Peace. I'll see you in the video. And